Today we're talking about a topic a lot of men struggle with, but rarely admit out loud. Why a woman can genuinely like you, yet still never contact you first. It sounds confusing, even contradictory. If she likes you, shouldn't she want to talk to you? Shouldn't her interest make her eager to reach out, check on you, start conversations, or at least send a quick text? Not always, and that's where understanding female psychology becomes powerful. Many men assume silence equals lack of interest, but for women, silence can actually mean something very different. Some women wait for the man to lead, some fear appearing too eager, some worry about being judged or rejected, and some are simply used to being pursued, not doing the pursuing. So instead of reaching out, they keep their feelings hidden and wait for you to make the first move. Think of it like this. Just because she's not texting doesn't mean she isn't thinking about you. A woman can replay your conversations, talk about you to her friends, check your social media, and still never hit send on a message. Not because she doesn't care, but because she's cautious, shy, nervous, or trying not to seem too available. Most men misread this. They think, if she liked me, she'd show it. But a lot of women do like you. They just hide it behind pride, fear, or social expectations. In this video, we're going to break down the psychology behind her silence. You'll learn the real reasons she doesn't contact you, even when she's interested. You'll understand what's happening inside her mind, what mixed signals actually mean, and how to respond the right way as a man. Because when you understand the psychology, you stop guessing, you stop stressing, you start seeing her behavior clearly. Let's get into it. 1. Women think emotionally. First, logically, second. Most men approach communication from a logical perspective. If you like someone, you show it. If you want to talk, you reach out. If something bothers you, you say it directly. That's how men are wired. But women operate differently. Their thoughts are first filtered through emotion, and only afterward through logic. This difference alone explains why a woman can like you and still not contact you. When a woman thinks about reaching out to a man she likes, her mind doesn't start with, I want to talk to him. Instead, her first instinct is, how will this make me look? Will he think I'm too desperate? Will he pull away? Will I seem clingy? Before she even types a message, she has already imagined every possible emotional outcome. If any of those outcomes feel risky, she stays silent, even if she really wants to talk. Women are also raised in a world where they're taught that the man should lead. Society constantly sends them the message that a woman who chases a man loses her value. So even confident women sometimes hold back from messaging first because they don't want to appear like they're chasing you. It's not that she doesn't care, it's that she doesn't want to seem like she cares too much. Another thing men need to understand is that women overthink more than they express. A man might see silence as simple disinterest, but a woman might see silence as strategy. She may think giving space makes you miss her. She might believe if she texts first, she gives up her mystery. Many women feel that being too available reduces their attractiveness, so they wait, even when waiting is the last thing they want to do. You'll also notice that women have strong emotional memories. If she has been rejected, ignored, or taken for granted in the past, she becomes more cautious. Her silence becomes a shield. She may like you, she may think about you constantly, but she'll wait for evidence that you care before she risks anything. Men communicate to connect. Women often wait to feel safe before they communicate. So when she doesn't contact you, don't assume the worst. Sometimes her silence is uncertainty. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's pride. And sometimes it's simply her waiting to see what you'll do. Understanding this puts you in a stronger position, because instead of misreading her behavior, you can approach it with confidence and clarity. When you see how women think, you stop taking her silence personally, and you start reading what's happening beneath the surface. 2. How men should act when she likes you but stays silent. When a woman likes you but never reaches out first, most men make the same mistake without realizing it. They start chasing harder. They text more, double message, call repeatedly, or constantly check in. The problem is, the more you try to pull her closer, the more she often pulls away, Not because she doesn't like you, but because she starts to feel pressure. Women are very sensitive to emotional pressure, even the kind you don't mean to apply. The smartest way to handle a woman who stays silent is with calm confidence. Confidence isn't about ignoring her or playing games. It's about showing through your behavior that you don't need constant validation. When she sees that you're comfortable with space, she feels safer. Women are attracted to men who are stable under pressure, not men who react to every small change in communication. Instead of asking, "Why isn't she texting me first?" ask, "How am I showing up when she does respond?" If your energy comes across anxious, desperate, or too available, she'll retreat. But if your energy is relaxed, warm, and masculine, she will slowly open up. Women take emotional steps, not logical leaps. Your job is not to push her. Your job is to create a space where she feels comfortable moving toward you. You also need to understand something important. If she isn't initiating contact, then every time you reach out, she reads your tone. That means your messages should sound like a man who enjoys talking to her, not a man who needs attention from her. Keep your communication simple, positive, and confident. Women can sense emotional stability through text just as clearly as in person. There's another part men overlook. A woman might not reach out because she's waiting to see how consistent you are. She's not testing you to manipulate you. She's observing your character. If you message her one day and disappear the next, she loses interest. If you get upset or confrontational about her silence, she loses respect. The best move is consistency without pressure. And most importantly, don't stop living your life while waiting for her to contact you. When you focus on your goals, your work, your body, and your future, you communicate value without saying a word. Women are drawn to men who have direction, ambition, and discipline. When your life is already full, her silence doesn't feel like a loss. It feels like a choice she's welcome to join when she's ready. Acting from strength instead of insecurity changes everything. Women respond to energy, not words. So if you stay calm, confident, and focused on becoming the best version of yourself, she'll feel safer reaching out. Even if she never contacts you first, she'll engage more deeply with the man who doesn't fold under silence. 3. Her silence is often a strategy, not a lack of interest. A lot of men assume women act randomly or emotionally without reason, but many women are far more strategic in dating than men give them credit for. When a woman likes you and stays silent, she's not always confused or scared. Sometimes she knows exactly what she's doing. Her silence becomes a tool, a way to measure your interest, your consistency, and your emotional strength. Women learn early in life that attention is easy to get, but real commitment is rare. Most men show excitement at first and disappear later. So when she likes you, she doesn't want to invest her time or emotions into someone who might lose interest next week. That's why she watches you quietly. Not to play games, but to protect herself. Every time you text her, she's learning something about you. Your tone, your confidence, your patience, all of it tells her who you really are. Think of it like this. For men, silence is nothing. If a woman likes you, you expect her to act on it. For women, silence has meaning. It gives them space to observe. She watches how you respond when she doesn't text first. Do you panic? Do you get angry? Do you send long emotional messages? Or do you stay calm and continue living your life? A man who falls apart because a woman doesn't text first communicates something he doesn't notice. He needs her presence to feel secure. But a man who stays focused on his goals, enjoys conversations when they happen, and doesn't beg for attention, shows confidence without forcing it. It's also important to understand that women know the value of mystery. Men are very straightforward. If you like someone, you usually show it. Women, on the other hand, understand that attraction grows when there's a little space. They know that when they don't contact you, you start thinking about them more. Not in a manipulative way, but in a natural psychological way. People think more about what they don't fully have. So, her silence can actually come from a place of interest. She wants you to make the move so she feels desired. She wants to know you can lead, because leadership builds security. A woman who likes you but doesn't message you first is often waiting for you to show that you don't scare easily. Silence is her filter. She wants to see if she chose a man or just another guy who only likes attention. This is why staying calm and grounded is so powerful. When she sees you don't lose balance just because she's quiet, she becomes more confident in you. She becomes more open. She starts to see you as someone she can trust emotionally. When you understand her silence as strategy, not rejection, you stop feeling confused and start feeling in control. 4. A realistic scenario. When she likes you but still doesn't reach out. Imagine this. You meet a woman you genuinely like. You had great conversations, the energy was there, she laughed at your jokes, she asked questions, she smiled a lot. She even hinted at wanting to see you again. After that day, you text her first, she replies quickly and seems happy to talk. The conversation flows. Everything feels promising. Then suddenly, she stops messaging first. She still replies whenever you text, and the replies are warm, but she never initiates. Days go by and you wonder, did I do something wrong? Did she lose interest? Did someone else show up? Most men start overthinking at this point. They check their phone constantly, rewrite messages 3 times, or ask her why she never contacts them. That's when everything starts going downhill, not because she lost interest, but because your insecurity shows. Now here's what you don't see from her side. After that great first meeting, she actually told her friend about you. She even reread your messages a couple times because she enjoyed the conversation. She considered texting you, but her mind immediately got in the way. She thought, what if he's not as into me as I think? What if I text first and he pulls away? I don't want to look desperate, so she waits. She hopes you'll text again so she knows she isn't the only one who cares. This happens more often than men realize. Women can be confident in many areas of life, work, friendships, family, but still hesitate in love. Maybe her past relationships made her cautious. Maybe she was once used by someone who only contacted her when convenient. Maybe she's been told her whole life not to be the one chasing a man. So even though she likes you, her fear of looking too eager outweighs her desire to reach out. But here's where things get even more interesting. She also pays close attention to how you handle her silence. If you stay calm, stay consistent, and treat communication like something you enjoy, not something you're desperate for, her comfort grows. She starts trusting your energy. She starts seeing you as a man who doesn't break under uncertainty. However, if you react emotionally, confront her, or ask why she never messages first, she instantly feels pressure. The connection becomes stressful instead of enjoyable. Women don't move towards stress. They move towards safety. So the scenario that seems like rejection is often nothing more than hesitation. Her silence doesn't mean she doesn't care. It means she's waiting to feel secure. When a man understands this and stays grounded, the entire dynamic shifts. Instead of pushing her away, he becomes the person she feels safe letting her guard down with. Sometimes the only difference between success and failure in dating is how a man responds to silence. 5. Why some women expect you to do all the work. Here's where things get uncomfortable for a lot of men. Some women will like you, think about you, and even want you, yet still refuse to contact you first because they believe it's your job to chase them. Not because they're shy, not because they're scared, but because they've been conditioned to think a man should always initiate. To many women, a man texting first isn't just communication, it's a sign of value. If you reach out, it proves you're invested. If you stop reaching out, it proves you don't care. They put the responsibility on you, but never take any risk themselves. This mindset becomes controversial because modern dating claims to be equal, but the behavior often isn't. Women want independence in life, ambition, career, opinions, control of their lives. Yet in dating, a lot of them still want the traditional benefit of being pursued without taking any emotional risk. They want the man to lead, but they don't realize leading also comes with constantly carrying the pressure of rejection. A woman can sit back comfortably and wait for your message because she knows if you reach out, she wins. She gets your attention. She gets the effort. She gets the reassurance that you're still interested. Meanwhile, you're the one wondering what she feels, what she wants, or where you stand. It's one-sided emotional investment, and most men don't talk about it. The truth is, some women enjoy being chased more than they enjoy building a connection. They enjoy the feeling of being wanted, but they don't always make you feel wanted in return. They love the attention you give, the energy you bring, and the validation that comes with it. If she never messages first, she never risks embarrassment, rejection, or looking too eager. All the weight stays on you. Now, this doesn't mean every woman is manipulative or selfish. Many are simply following what dating has taught them. Don't pursue, don't be the first to text, let the man make every move. But a relationship can't grow if only one person invests. When a woman believes she should contribute nothing, she assumes you'll keep chasing forever. The moment you stop, she gets confused or angry, not because she cared deeply, but because she was comfortable with the attention. Men need to recognize this difference. A woman who likes you but never lifts a finger to make you feel wanted isn't interested in building something real. She's interested in being admired. The controversial truth is simple. Effort reveals interest. If she can't even send a message, she's telling you her comfort matters more than the connection. A woman who truly wants you won't be silent forever. Silence becomes a red flag when it's not about fear or shyness, but entitlement. At some point, a real connection requires two people leaning in, not one person chasing endlessly. S6. The psychology behind why women hold back. To really understand why a woman can like you and still never contact you first, you have to look deeper than behavior. You have to look at psychology. Women are emotional thinkers, emotional decision makers, and emotional communicators. Their actions come from how something feels, not just what makes sense. And when it comes to love or attraction, their emotions can make them act in ways that seem confusing to men. A big reason women hold back is the fear of rejection. Men are used to risking rejection because society expects them to initiate. Women, on the other hand, are used to being chosen. So the moment she thinks about texting you first, she is stepping into territory where she could be ignored, rejected, or embarrassed. Even confident women feel this pressure. A man might see a text as nothing, but for many women, reaching out first feels like putting their heart on display. Women also connect their self-worth to how a man responds to them. If she texts you first and you take too long to reply, or you respond coldly, she doesn't just feel disappointed, she feels unwanted. That emotional risk makes silence feel safer. She tells herself, if he really wants me, he'll come to me, because that keeps her protected from feeling rejected. Another psychological factor is the desire for reassurance. Women want to feel chosen without having to chase. The moment you text her first, she feels secure. She thinks, he still likes me. So she waits for you, not because she doesn't care, but because your effort makes her feel valuable. Silence becomes a way of avoiding uncertainty. There's also the instinct of emotional control. Women don't like feeling vulnerable too early. If she reaches out too soon or too often, she worries she'll give away her feelings before she knows yours. Holding back gives her control. She can watch how you behave, how consistent you are, and whether you lose interest when she isn't constantly available. It's her way of protecting her emotions. And deeper than all of this, many women are influenced by past experiences. If another man played her, ignored her, or took her effort for granted, she won't risk being the one who tries harder again. What looks like silence might actually be trauma. She's not trying to make things difficult. She's trying not to repeat a painful memory. So her psychology is a combination of fear, protection, caution, and expectation. She wants to feel desired. She wants to feel safe. She wants to know she chose the right man. Silence becomes the space where she observes you, tests the connection, and waits to feel secure. When you see her behavior through this psychological lens, her silence becomes less confusing. It's not rejection, it's self-protection. And the man who understands this responds with patience, confidence, and consistency, qualities she subconsciously looks for in a long-term partner. 7. What happens when you stop reaching out first? There is a moment that often surprises men. After weeks or months of always being the one to start the conversation, you decide to stop. Not out of anger, not out of games, but because you're tired of carrying all the effort alone. You put your phone down, focus on your life, and give the situation some space. Suddenly, something interesting happens. The woman who never contacted you first begins to notice your silence. At first, she might assume you're busy. Then she starts to wonder if something changed. Did she do something wrong? Did you lose interest? Are you talking to someone else? The same woman who wouldn't text you first before suddenly starts thinking about you more than ever. This is where female psychology becomes extremely clear. As long as you were initiating, she felt secure. She knew you were invested, so she didn't have to be. But when you stop reaching out, the dynamic shifts. Now she has to face her real feelings instead of hiding behind comfort. If she truly liked you, this is the moment her behavior changes. She might not send a long emotional message, but she will find a way to reconnect. Maybe she replies to an old story, likes your posts, asks a casual question, or suddenly remembers something about you. Women rarely approach directly at first. They test the water. Silence on your part forces her to participate. It puts both of you on equal ground. On the other hand, if she only enjoyed the attention, she will disappear completely. When your texts stop, her interest stops too. And as painful as that sounds, it's actually valuable information. A woman who cared would make an effort. A woman who didn't will simply move on to the next source of validation. Your silence exposes what her words never did. What matters most is how you handle this moment. You don't guilt trip her, confront her, or ask why she never texted. You stay composed. If she reaches out, you talk like a man who is busy living his life, not someone who spent days waiting by the phone. That calm energy is attractive. It shows strength. It shows that your world does not revolve around anyone's attention. Many men think contacting her less will push her away. In reality, it gives her space to feel something real. Attraction grows when both people invest. If she steps forward, it means she values you. If she stays silent, it means she never did. Either way, you win, because you finally see the truth. Sometimes the most powerful move a man can make is doing nothing. Not chasing, not begging, not proving himself. Just stepping back and letting her actions speak louder than her silence ever did. A woman not contacting you first doesn't always mean she doesn't care. Sometimes it's fear, pride, insecurity, or simply the belief that the man should always lead. Understanding the psychology behind her silence gives you clarity instead of confusion. The best response is confidence, patience, and a life that doesn't stop just because she hesitates. When you stay grounded, you see her true intentions. If she values you, she will show effort when you stop carrying all the weight. If she doesn't, you move forward with self-respect. In the end, silence reveals more than words ever could.